5 News at Noon starts now.
New developments today. Authorities say they've killed a bear believed to be responsible for mauling a camper to death. What we're learning about the investigation and what we still don't know. It's day 6 of the government shutdown with no end in sight. What congressional leaders are saying and what new CBS polling reveals about who Americans are holding responsible. Well, thank you for joining us for your 5 News at Noon. I'm Morgan Wrigley here with Joshua Weisel. It's a new week and another week of all of us hoping for a cool down. Are we going to get it this week?
Unfortunately, our cool down this week doesn't really look all that impressive.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Mother Nature just decided, hey, summer wants to be a little bit longer this year. And this weekend got really sunburned out there. So we even have the UV index pretty hot out there. So great fall-like weather. Here's a look at what we've got with the radar. And the reason I'm showing you the radar is the only big difference, and I say that it's not really a huge difference or anything like that, but there's going to be some low rain chances this afternoon, and you can see right now all is calm. This green that you see right here, just some ground clutter with the radar, no rain there. Views across the area, we've got a little bit more in terms of the increased cloud coverage today, but by no means is it fully cloudy or anything like that. Fayetteville, Fort Smith, beautiful afternoon there. So the good news is it's warm, but it's quiet. Now notice these temperatures in the 70s and 80s at this noon hour, so it's a little bit on the warmer side like we've seen. Here's some more temperatures across the area. Some of us still in the upper 70s, so some cooler spots, but other than that, it's just going to be kind of the same old with one added thing here to the forecast, and that's these very low rain chances mostly this afternoon and this evening. So it's going to be warm. We're going to have a couple more clouds here and there today compared to the last couple of days, depending on location. And again, we're watching for that low chance for maybe a spotty shower and thunderstorm. So not everyone's going to see this activity. We'll be looking at maybe some more fall-like conditions, but I'll have the latest details on that, and it looks pretty warm and dry going forward. Details coming up.
Thank you, Joshua. Well, authorities in northern Arkansas think they may have killed the bear that mauled a camper to death in the Ozarks last week. The Newton County Sheriff confirms a bear was killed Sunday near Sam's Throne Campground. Now, this photo released by Arkansas Game and Fish shows the bear. This is the same area where a 60-year-old camper from Springfield, Missouri was found dead Thursday. A game camera later spotted a bear inside the campground, and hunters with dogs helped track it down. The bear is now being taken to Little Rock for testing to determine for certain if it's the same one responsible. For now, that campground and the surrounding area are still closed. Well, it is now day 6 of the government shutdown. The Senate, which took the weekend off, is coming back to Washington for votes this afternoon. Some furloughed federal workers will miss out on their first paycheck this week, and now they face the threat of layoffs as well. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
Senators are returning to Capitol Hill with little optimism for a breakthrough.
Well, there's not a lot to negotiate, Maria. It's the Democrats just need to open up the government. Right now, we're at a stalemate. They've now voted 4 times.
Majority Leader John Thune says lawmakers later today will take up the same dueling spending measures that failed multiple times last week.
The motion upon reconsideration is not agreed to.
Democratic leaders fault Republicans for not negotiating as they push for extending enhanced health care tax credits.
We've been trying for months and months to sit down with them and have a serious conversation addressing America's health care needs. And they've refused and refused and refused.
The White House and Republican leaders insist Democrats reopen the government first before tackling health care. If negotiations remain at a standstill, President Trump says he's prepared to move forward with mass layoffs.
It's taking place right now, and it's all because of the Democrats. The Democrats are causing the loss of a lot of jobs with their it's a shutdown. It's their shutdown, not our shutdown. It's their shutdown.
But a new CBS News poll shows neither side is looking good to the American public. 39% blame President Trump and congressional Republicans for the shutdown. 30% blame Democrats, and 31% blame both equally. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
That CBS News poll also shows President Trump's approval rating slipped 2 points among those surveyed, now at 43%. Now, millions of people who rely on food stamps and family aid through federal programs could be at risk of losing assistance during the government shutdown. Funding was cut off on September 30th, and these programs are now relying on reserve funds until the government passes a new spending plan. WIC is a federally funded program for women, infants, and children, and it could be impacted.
For really young children whose sole source of nutrition may be infant formula, the loss of WIC would be absolutely devastating because their families don't have other options.
She says if the government doesn't pass a spending bill within the next 2 weeks, funding will likely run out. Meanwhile, funding for other programs like SNAP could also be at risk. Nearly 120 Arkansas National Guard members are heading out this week for a year-long mission at the southern border. The deployment includes 4 Lakota helicopters and support crews. They're part of a routine rotation to assist Customs and Border Protection. One lieutenant says this is her first deployment.
I'm excited, but I'm also nervous for the simple fact that I am the S1 officer, so I will be leading soldiers. But at the same time, I'm excited and I'm ready to lead.
These soldiers will join a task force of more than 340 from all across the country. There's hope in Israel as a deal to end the war in Gaza and bring the latest hostages home seems more and more real. Still, people protested in Tel Aviv over the weekend as the Israeli military launched more airstrikes in Gaza. Deborah Pata is near the Israel-Gaza border with the latest.
During the October 7 terror attack, Irit Lahav hid with her daughter in a safe room in her home in Nir Oz for nearly 12 hours.
And then we started hearing, we could hear the terrorists running outside here, and grenades and RPGs just swooshing next to our house.
They repeatedly tried to break down the door, eventually giving up.
I shed so many tears. I thought that I don't have any more tears in me. Yeah.
Lahav told us she does not want revenge, but she does want closure and cannot begin to heal until all the hostages are home. President Trump was putting huge pressure on both Israel and Hamas to end the war and seal the deal. Logistics around a hostage-prisoner swap are being thrashed out in Egypt. That might just be the easiest part. There are many sticking points that could upend the deal. Hamas has made no mention of disarmament, a key Israeli demand. And many Israelis believe the danger lies within Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's ruling coalition, where his right-wing allies have threatened to collapse his government if Hamas is not destroyed.
Do you trust your government to do the right thing this time and make sure this deal happens?
No. I think Netanyahu will try everything in his hands to destroy this chance. But I hope that the powers of the other people will force him to stick to the deal.
And over the weekend, Netanyahu said he hopes the hostages will be freed in the coming days. Deborah Pato, CBS News, Nir Oz, Israel.
Rescuers are racing to reach hikers stranded on Mount Everest as a freak October snowstorm caught hundreds off guard. Teams with horses and oxen have been trekking their way through deep snow, trying to reach a tourist camp on the slope of Everest in Tibet, nearly 16,000 feet up. The blizzard hit suddenly on Friday, crushing tents and cutting off communication. Conditions had looked ideal for trekking, with climbers heading out in what's considered a stable stretch of the season.
This is the time when monsoon should have completely withdrawn, and then you expect clear skies, visitors going up, mountaineers even going up.
Chinese state media says hundreds of hikers have now been rescued, but hundreds more are still believed to be stranded and at risk of hypothermia. Well, as the weather cools down, an unwanted visitor is making its presence known in northwest Arkansas. The brown marmorated stink bug is back, and it's causing quite a smelly situation. 5 News reporter Laura Castleman tells us this species of stink bug is more active this year and about the potential damage they can cause to crops and your home.
Introduced to the United States from Asia in the 90s, the brown marmorated stink bug was first recorded in Arkansas in 2013.
Brown marmorated stink bugs are part of a group of insects we call true bugs.
Austin Jones, a bug expert at the University of Arkansas, says we didn't see an extended period of hot weather this year, making the climate ideal.
They're more likely to infest our homes to try to find a place to overwinter. And if you see a bug bouncing off your TV set or your windowsill this time of year, it's probably one of them.
Although more of a nuisance than a threat, these bugs can damage crops like peaches and apples.
But they will cause what's called cat facing, which is actually where they feed on the fruit early on, which causes it to deform as it matures and ripens.
And of course, cause an odor. Ensuring homes are well sealed is the best defense against unwelcome guests.
The more you can have screens on windows, gaps around doors and windows sealed up, that's how they're going to be getting in primarily. Although they can hitchhike inside on things that we're bringing in and out as well, just like they hitchhiked into our country.
Jones recommends pesticides as a last resort.
They're not particularly effective. Many pesticides are not labeled for use for them.
And the best method of removal, although a stinky one,
get them back outside, or a pan of soapy water. A lot of times people will collect them up and toss them into there as a means of dispatching them.
Covering news where you live, Laura Castleman, 5 News.